First and foremost, all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wawakakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth. To the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons, and daughters also. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel, and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy power require of thee? So this is a requirement, okay? But to fear the Lord thy power, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul. So that's actually a requirement. We're supposed to fear him. We're supposed to be obedient and walk in his ways. That's how you show you love him. Verse 13, to keep the commandments of the Lord Yahweh and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So we have to keep the commandments. Now understand this, we're not going to be saved off of keeping the commandments. We cannot keep the commandments perfect. And then on top of that, we are captivated under our enemies. Okay? So it's impossible to keep all the laws right now. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's, thy power, the earth also with all that therein is. Only the Lord Yahweh had a delight in thy fathers to love them. These other nations don't love our people, but the Lord does. All right? And he chose their seed after them. So from Abraham down to Isaac, Isaac down to Jacob, Jacob down to the 12 patriarchs down to who you call today ignorantly, based off their father's genetic lineage, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, but it's not what you look like. What you look like does not depict your lineage. Even you above all people, as it is this day. So the Lord favors our people. Now this world will tell you different, but the Lord actually favors Jacob over any other nation. Verse 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. So our people have to get their mind in order. For the Lord your power is power of powers, and Lord of lords. A great power, a mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward. So there's no respect of persons. You do wrong, you can get punished for the wrong you do, just like anyone else. Okay? That goes for any of us. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There's no respecter of persons. He doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow, and loveth the stranger, and giving him food and raiment. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Now someone will read that and say, see, it's talking about loving the other nations. We have to love the other nations. In fact, that's not what it's talking about at all. The strangers that this is referring to is speaking of Israelites. Now let's touch on Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 33. Let's go to verse 35. And if thy brother, speaking of one of your own people, and if thy brother be waxen poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. So what makes you a stranger? Let's say you live in California, and a brother comes to visit you from another city or another state. That brother is a stranger. He's sojourning there. He's passing through. He's not really there to live there. He doesn't have his possessions there permanently. It's just a temporary stay. But you, who invites the brother, if he's going through a difficult time while he's there, you're supposed to help relieve him. Okay, it's not speaking of a stranger as in another nation, but rather a stranger as in one of your own, one of your brothers of the tribes. Even more so, one of the brothers of the tribes who believe. Let's read this again, Leviticus 25 and 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Okay? So we have to look out for one another. You know, for brothers going through a hard time, relieve them. You know, why give him a hard time? You know, stress him out. You know, relieve that man. Because when somebody's sojourning, they're not staying permanently. They're usually just passing through. It's like a temporary stay. Just like we're sojourning in Babylon. Yeah, we're here. We may have been born here. We may have lived all of our lives here. But we're only here temporarily. Okay? That's the brother that it's referring to in the book of Deuteronomy, I believe 10 and 18. I believe it was. But you can also go to the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 15 and verse 9, and it reads this: And he gathered all Judah and Benjamin and the strangers with them out of Ephraim and Manasseh and out of Simeon, for they fell to him out of Israel in abundance when they saw that the Lord, his power, was with him. So the stranger that we are to love, the stranger that we are to look out for, okay, if we're going through a hard time, okay, let's say you have someone visiting you, you're both going through a hard time, you're supposed to relieve that man, okay? Where was I at? Read it again. And he gathered all Judah and Benjamin, and the strangers with them out of Ephraim and Manasseh, and out of Simeon. For they fell to him out of Israel in abundance when they saw that the Lord his power was with him. So Judah and Benjamin being the southern kingdom, then you have Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon. That represents the northern kingdom. Although they are the same people, let's say a Ephraimite was to visit the land of Judah. Well, they would be a stranger in the land of Judah. Okay? Not stranger in a sense of they're not the same people. But Judah is a different tribe than Ephraim. So if Judah was to pass through the land of Ephraim, Judah would be a stranger in the land of Ephraim. All right? Although they are the same people. So we're to love our brother. We're to love, you know, the strangers that are among us. Speaking of our own people. Okay? Let's go back to where I was. Let's jump back. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 18. He doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow, and loveth the stranger, and giving him food and raiment. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. And that's speaking of your own brother. So when you go to Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 18, it says this: Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. So the stranger is referring to the children of our people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord, Yahweh. So the Lord, he told us to not bear any grudges against the children of thy people, being the children of Israel. All right? We, seeing that we make up one people, it starts with the believers. Those who believe within the nation of Israel, those are our fellow brothers and sisters. And we're not supposed to hold any grudges among them. All right? And all the Israelites aren't serving the Lord. Those who are typically considered our people, our neighbor. Other Israelites who's living as the heathen, doing as the Gentile do, okay, just out here in darkness, typically at this point of time, they're not our people. Okay? Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. That has nothing to do with Esau, Moab, Ammon, Ishmael. Okay? But that's speaking of our people, the fellow believers within our nation. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord thy power. Okay? Let's go to Mark chapter 3 to get an idea of what I'm saying when I refer to our people being those who believe. Mark chapter 3 and 31. There came then his brethren and his mother, and standing without sent unto him, calling him. And the multitude set about him. And they said unto him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren without seek for thee. And he answered them, saying, Who is my mother or my brethren? So who is our people? Who are the brethren or the sisters that we're supposed to love? And he looked round about on them which sat about him, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of the power, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother. So this is about the believers of the nation of Israel. We're not supposed to hold any grudge among them, because that's really our family. Now, your biological family, although they are your family, what's going to stop them from committing adultery against you? What's going to stop them from gossiping or lying on you? What's going to stop them from, just being a straight up scumbag behind your back or in your face? You might say, oh, that's my cousin, that's my brother, I know them. Do you really? Because anyone who's not guided by the Holy Spirit, they're really open up to Satan. Okay? You can't be around somebody like that who Satan can just jump on at any given time. Okay? Our people are those who serve Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Those are the ones we're supposed to love. Okay? You have a lot of men, they try to push this world-friendly doctrine like we're supposed to just love any and everybody. That's stupid, man. That makes no sense. And I'm grateful that that's not doctrine. I'm grateful that that's not of the truth, because I would have a hard time getting into the kingdom if it was. I'm telling you, because there are some evil, ingenuous scumbags in this earth, man, who could totally just mess your life up. Okay? But our love towards our brothers and sisters, it has to be real. It has to be sincere. It has to be biblical based. Let's touch on Romans chapter 12 and verse 9. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. So a lot of men say they love their brother or their sister, but they're doing it in a shady manner. They have some ulterior motive. When you go into that word dissimulation in Greek 505, the word is anupokritos. And it says unfeigned, undisguised, sincere. So don't be trying to have a cloak pretending to love your brother just to stab him in the back. Don't be trying to perform lip service, but in reality, you're plotting on how to take your brother down. You're plotting on how to take his position. You're plotting on how to take his woman, or how to take his life, or how to get others to hate him. Okay? Anyone can say they love their brother. Anyone can come off like they love their brother, but do you really? Let love be without dissimulation. So you have to be sincere. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. So we're supposed to abhor that which is evil, hate it, avoid it, stay away from it, and cleave to that which is good, which are the fellow believers, those who are like-minded, those who are in agreement with the belief in Yahweh Shai. Okay? Because a lot of people in this world, their love isn't sincere. Their love is actually ass backwards like crisscross. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 9. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love. So many will use love as an excuse. Okay, they'll be wicked, doing all sorts of just abominable things. And then when you confront them about it, they'll try to tell you, brother, you're showing hate. You supposed to love. Why you coming at me like that? Well, if you're doing wicked, of course you're going to seek love. Okay, you're using love in an unsincere manner. That's not unfeigned. But he that repeateth a matter separated very friends. And you have a lot of men, they keep repeating matters. Okay, you might forgive a brother, but he's not really, looking at the fact that you forgave him. He's looking at you forgiving him as a way to one up on you again. He's looking at you forgiving him as a way to step on you. Okay, here it is. You go from being boys, but he just keeps showing that he's not right. Okay, he that covereth a transgression seeketh love. And a brother who's out here trying to warn you and tell you the truth, that's a sign that he loves you as a brother. But you as a person, if you don't want to be rebuked and you're using, well, brother, you're supposed to show love towards one another. You're not supposed to be like that. Well, that's because you're trying to hide your wickedness. Okay, and you keep on doing that, you're going to end up losing your brother. Okay, because you have a lot of men, they not right. Okay, now a just man does fall multiple times, but there's levels to how you're falling as well. Okay, he that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. Let's touch on Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 10. Let's see. Verse 9. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So if you love the Lord, what are you going to do? You're going to keep the commandments. You're going to walk in his ways. Let's stay in Deuteronomy, because people have to understand love according to the Bible is different from the love of this world. Deuteronomy 30 and 6. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. Let's go down to 16. So let's read this again. Let me see. No, I didn't read this yet. So Deuteronomy 30 and 16. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and the Lord thy power shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, because you don't love the Lord, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and thy seed may live, that thou mayest love the Lord thy power, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him. So if you love the Lord, you're going to be obedient. You're going to listen to what the scriptures is telling you, because they are his words. Okay? Just like a child can't really love their parent if they're not doing what the parents are telling them to do. Explaining the rules. Okay? Going against that, that's not love. That's disobedience. And that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life and the length of thy days. That thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. And that's what it's about right there. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The fellow believers who come out of them. Those who come out of them who love the Lord are going to obey the Lord. They're going to love their brother. And the brothers that they're showing that love to, which is really, in a way, all of our people, because love is keeping the commandments. So you're not going to commit adultery against your brother, whether he's a believer or not. Okay? But when it comes to praying, we're only praying for the believers, man. The believers of our people. We do show our people love. It's just that people reject it, which is this truth. And I'm going to close it with this. Let's go to the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And the more that you love less. That's what the scriptures say. And we're showing our people love by giving them this truth, but they don't want this truth. They want to deny it and reject it all day long. But at the end of the day, anyone can say they love the Lord. Anyone can say they love their brother. Anyone can say they love everybody. Okay? it is what it is, man. The scripture says what it says. We're supposed to love based off how the scriptures tell us to. That's in truth. And according to truth, love is keeping the commandments. Okay? Love is also applying what the word says. And really, the Bible itself is a book of commandments. All right? There's a multitude of commandments. Love your brother like you love yourself. How do you do that? How would you know to do that? Well, it's in the scriptures. Okay? Now, if someone's not good to themselves, why would they be good to their brother? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So many are not going to be saved because they reject love. They reject this truth. They don't care to hear what we have to say when we're just speaking the words of the Lord. They want to set up their own way, go about it their own way. Okay, so I pray that this was simple and edifying. I didn't really know where I was going with it, but I pray that it landed. All praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wa Rakakwada Shalom.